Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the AEW Dynamite review for the, um, let's see, 9th of March, 2022. Chris Jericho addresses Eddie Kingston to open the show. Jericho starts by thanking Kingston for bringing something at him that he hadn't seen in a while, didn't think it existed anymore. Jericho said he didn't live up to his word when he said that he would shake Kingston's hands. He wants to make that up to Kingston, so he wants to apologize to him face to face. And then Kingston comes out, says he wanted to spend Friday going out drinking and forgetting his problems. He said he's afraid. It took a moment to shut down. A heckling fan doing the what deal. And then Kingston said he had 4 people come up and say that his interview saved their lives. He cried in his hotel room. There's no way he was going to miss the pay-per-view. He hopes he did the fans proud. Handshake wasn't for Kingston, though. He won the match. He asked Jericho what was missing inside of him that stopped him from living up to his word. What does Kingston have to do to drag the man out of Jericho? Jericho looked up to, and Jericho is still number 1, but doesn't fill the hole in his heart that stops him from showing respect to guys like Kingston. Jericho said everything Kingston said is right. He said that Jericho's undying respect for giving him one of the best matches of his career, and please shake his hand. Kingston obliged, but he's interrupted by 2.0. Daniel Garcia attacks Jericho and Kingston. Santana and Ortiz run out to make the save. Ortiz had Floyd. Santana held 1 of 2.0 to allow Jericho to hit him with the bat, but Jericho instead hit Santana and Ortiz. Jake Hager runs out and acted surprised, but instead attacked Santana and Ortiz as well. Jericho hit Kingston with the bat for good measure. 2.0 pulls out a timekeeper's table, and Hager powerbombs Kingston through it from the apron in a rough spot. Jericho grabs the mics and says, "This is Jericho Appreciation Society, and that's entertainment." I didn't really necessarily like this. I think Jericho staying a heel is a good thing. I don't know that Jake Hager needs to be back if this is all they're going to do, but 2.0 do not belong with a guy like Jericho, in my opinion. Anyway, video package recapping CM Punk and MJF aired. A world champion Hangman Page defeat Dante Martin. This goes about 6 or 7 minutes. Not a fan of this. Mainly because why should Adam Page, who's the world champion, have even the remotest of difficulty facing a guy like Martin after a grueling match with Adam Cole? Shouldn't he be, I don't know, recuperating for at least a week? After chain wrestling, Dante strings together a little bit of offense, hits dropkick. Page shrugs it off, nails some chops, and turns a crossbody into a follow-away slam. Hits a couple of springboard apron lariat ahead of the commercial. Dante starts to come back with a Gamagiri and a missile dropkick for near fall. Lands a high kick on the apron, follows up with the Orhar moonsault. Page then counters another dropkick into a powerbomb for near fall. Page then goes for the buckshot. Dante recovers long enough to get out of the way. Counter exchange before Page hits a buckshot for the quick and decisive win. Post-match, Shivani asked Page about his match against Adam Cole. Page insisted that Dante come back into the ring and congratulates him for making it all the way to the world title match. Should you make it back here, I'd be glad to do it again, he says. Adam Cole interrupts. He says that Revolution took Page to his absolute limit, but it's a fluke victory. Next week, Cole's challenging Page in a 6-man tag team match, and Cole's 2 partners know Page very well, and he says they're his friends, not Page's. Cole will not stop until he gets what he wants. I assume this is a Young Bucks reference. I really, really hope not. Anyway, during the commercial, Tony Khan posted on Twitter that Pac and Wheeler Yuta was added to tonight's card as a standby match because Page and Dante didn't go as long as it'll happen later tonight, potentially. Anyway, Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley with William Regal defeats the Workhorsemen, JD Drake and Anthony Henry. Basically, they go high spots from the beginning. Workhorsemen have been a great team on the independent scene, specifically in the South Carolinas and Georgia and the like for years. this would be really good for Drake, who ultimately in the Wingman has been wasted. Post match is very good, and Regal um, is is amazing. Danielson and Moxley attack right at the bell. Moxley starts with Drake and then takes him down. Hits a backdrop suplex. Danielson tags in, lays in kicks, and hits a buzzsaw. Drake then sends Danielson in the corner, tags in Henry. Bunch of strikes, cuts him off with a knee lift. Moxley tags back in, continues the beatdown. Danielson re enters and locks on the Romero special. Moxley uh, goes right at Henry. Danielson has the hold on and hits an X-Plex. Henry comes back with a missile dropkick and tags in Drake. Drake then lays in hard chops and slaps Moxley, who returns the favor. Hits a rebound lariat. Moxley then completely misses a dive, but then hits Paradigm Shift on Henry as Danielson tags in, hits the Bushido knee on Drake. Danielson kicks Drake's head and applies the label lock for the submission victory, and Regal is happy with this. After the match, Tony Schiavone welcomes Regal to AEW. Regal said time flies and he's lived a hard life. He's not long for this world. Too many empty bottles. What he's out here to do is thank Schiavone. He helped Regal in many ways, more than he can imagine. Enough being nice, Regal is no longer required in his old job, and he says he's completely checked out of the industry until someone told him Danielson mentioned him on Dynamite. He then found out Danielson would fight Moxley, and the only reason you know the name Regal is because of Danielson. Regal can do is make someone who wants to work hard a better professional wrestler. Regal said Danielson is the wrestler he should have been. He's the perfect wrestler. He trains for hours and hours every day. For months with Danielson, Danielson became the person Regal could never be because he doesn't have the problems Regal has. And then he met Moxley, and the problems they shared with each other would make the devil cry. After the match on Sunday, Regal thought, what better contribution than the perfect combination than the perfect wrestler and the one who would take things further than anyone else. And anyone steps in the ring with them, you won't like the outcome and you will get stepped on. William Regal, still freaking phenomenal. WWE letting them go is just proof of how narcissistic and out of touch most of their front office is, but it's a good get for AEW. The Dark Order's backstage and asked about their relationship with Adam Page. Page walked up and apologized for shoving them. Silver asked who would team with Page next week, but Page already ran into Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, who said they wanted a piece of the Young Bucks next week. Page awkwardly apologized and walks off. Pac with Penta and Alex Abrahantes defeats Wheeler Yuta, best friends. Quick chain wrestling early leads into a commercial. Pac dominates. Upon return, Yuta comes back, release German suplex, follows up with a top rope crossbody for 2 count. Pac then hits the German into a bridge for 2 count of his own. Avalanche Brainbuster locks on the Brutalizer for the submission victory. I guess it's there to kill time, but not a fan. Adam Cole, Young Bucks, and Red Dragon are backstage. Cole is disappointed that nobody left Revolution with gold, but the two teams started arguing. Cole said he's talking about his partners for next week. The Young Bucks didn't want to do it, but Cole said he wasn't talking about them, he's talking about Red Dragon. FTR and Tully Blanchard are asking about their next move. Dax said professional wrestling is his first love, and he's looking at the Young Bucks and Red Dragon next so he can look his daughter in the eye. Tully cut him off and said that they're losing focus and they should be going after the champions. Dax and Tully get in each other's faces, but then Cash cuts Tully off and fires him. I don't know if this means that they're going to do a renewed push with the FTR group, but I hope so. Matt Hardy's Andrade Hardy family office meeting, trash. Honestly, it's just here. Matt Hardy is angry right away. Andrade isn't having it. Matt said every time he puts on a suit, he transforms into a jerk, and Andrade knows all about that. Andrade said he put in a vote, but Matt was adamant the Private Party would never vote him out. Private Party voted to keep him, but then they turned their thumbs down. With his back turned, Andrade said that this business, you always need to watch your back, and the rest of the Andrade Now team attacks Matt Hardy. Darby Allin's music plays, and he and Sting emerge. They attack, and then they are overwhelmed by the numbers game. Then Jeff Hardy comes out. Yes, Jeff Hardy's in AEW, making the save, sending everyone packing. Blade left in the ring. Matt hit him with a twist of fate before Jeff hits Swanton, and Jeff Hardy's all elite. I'm not a fan of this, but I understand that many people are. Jeff Hardy is a guy that kind of worked his way into being released from his contract. That's what I truly believe, and, it's there. Shane Strickland's backstage, and he's debuting Friday on Rampage. Tony Nese interrupts and sarcastically congratulates him before challenging him to a match. Swerve said, bless him like he used to because he's in Swerve's house. Wardlow interview. Wardlow, for the first time, did really well in this promo segment. Shivani asked Wardlow what's next. He says he's still under contract with MJF. Wardlow said it's time to stop supporting someone else's dreams and fulfilling his own. He said he knew MJF wasn't a good person, and he hopes everyone can forgive him for associating with him, but Wardlow grew up poor, and this granted him the opportunity to provide for his family and give them a better life. MJF gave Wardlow a foot in the door, and for that he thanks him. However, that doesn't give him the right to disrespect, threaten, and put his hands on him. Wardlow is still under contract with MJF. He just doesn't give a damn anymore, and he won't be watching MJF's back anymore. He's no longer a member of the Pinnacle, and he's finally free. If MJF releases Wardlow from his contract, they can't go. They can go their separate ways. From now on, the only thing he cares about is winning the TNT Championship and earning an AEW contract. As of right now, AEW officials, this is Wardlow's world. Keith Lee and QT Marshall are backstage. QT welcomes Lee to AEW and said that he noticed Lee has an issue with Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. He let Lee know that he and the factory have his back. Lee said, I have a very large back and I'm good. QT said Lee would pay for that comment. That actually kind of struck me as funny. Anyway, AEW World Tag Team Champions Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus with Christian Cage defeat the Acclaim, Max Caster, and Anthony Bowens. Acclaim attack right from the beginning. Jungle Boy fights off and sends both of them away. Luchasaurus takes down Caster with an overhand chop, double team, senton, and distraction from Bowens. Then, who's the legal man, allows the Acclaim to take control, at least a little bit ahead of the break. Back from the commercial, Jungle Boy hits the rebound lariat and reaches Luchasaurus for the hot tag. Dinosaur goes nuts on the Acclaimed. Concludes with a double clothesline out on the floor. Luchasaurus avoids boombox shot, and Jungle Boy takes them out with a flip dive. Luchasaurus hits choke slam and then starts with a moonsault, but Bowens breaks up the pin. Jungle Boy then goes for the Doomsday Escalera, but Bowens pushes him off the top rope, and then the Acclaimed hit the mic drop, but Luchasaurus breaks up the pin for a decent enough near fall. Caster takes out Luchasaurus in the Acclaimed combination and sends some good near falls here. Christian stops Caster from using illegal tactics. Jungle Boy rolls through and gets a near fall on Bowens. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus hits the Doomsday device. Luchasaurus dispatches Caster with the tail whip, and Jungle Boy pins Bowens to retain the tag team championships. Jade Cargill and Mark Sterling ask who's next, and this will bring Jade to 30-0. She asks who wants to step up and get the kiss of death. Thunder Rosa defeats legit Layla Hirsch for the number one contender to Britt Baker. Rosa out-wrestles Hirsch early on, then goes for an easy Fire Thunder driver. Hirsch then fights out, stomps Rosa's arm, and then continues to target Rosa. left arm through the commercial break. Back from the break, Rosa hits a bunch of low drop kicks and a Northern Light suplex for near fall. Hirsch then comes back with a German suplex and a bridge for a 2 count of her own. Hirsch then climbs to the ropes, but Rosa cuts her off and hits the top rope superplex into the fireman's carry. Neckbreaker, sliding lariat follows for 2 count. Hirsch then goes for the turnbuckle and then uses that to beat Chris Statlander, but Red Velvet runs out and then stops her. Hirsch then instead locks on the cross arm breaker, forcing Rosa to retain return to the ropes. Rosa hits a sunset flip for near fall, goes for the Fire Thunder Driver for the 3. She'll face Britt Baker for the Women's Championship next week. After the match, Shivani announced next week's women's title match would take place in a steel cage. That's a good plan. Camera then goes backstage, Britt Baker and company. She doesn't understand why Rosa gets another shot right away. She thinks there's a conspiracy. Jamie Hayter will face Mercedes Martinez this Friday on Rampage. Baker's afraid of what will happen when they carry off Riff Raff like Thunder Rosa becomes champion. Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Martinez, Darby Allin and Mark Quinn, Keith Lee, QT Marshall, Swerve Strickland, and Tony Nese, all for the Rampage on Friday the 11th. Then we go to St. Patrick's Day Slam 316, Women's Champion Steel Cage match, Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, TNT Champion, Sammy Guevara or Scorpio Sky versus Wardlow, and then Hangman Page, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus versus Adam Cole and Red Dragon of O'Reilly and Fish. Then we go to Scorpio Sky with Ethan Page and Dan Lambert defeating Sammy Guevara to win the championship. I'm glad that the belt is off Guevara, although a short-term reign for Scorpio Sky isn't necessarily good for business. Strike straight at the start. Guevara dropkick Sky, forcing him to roll to the floor, and then Guevara sends Sky to the barricade. Before pulling out a table, Sky then cuts Guevara off, but Guevara regains control with a thrust kick, rolls into Sky, and then rolls into the table. Sky rolls out of the way of 630 Senton. Guevara crashes and burns. Ty Conti comes out to check on him, commercial, and then he's helped up the ramp by the doctor and his girlfriend. Once back, Guevara then has a change of heart and makes his way back into the ring, spinning in Sky's face. Sky immediately sends him out of the ring. Paige Van Zant gets in Conti's face. Back in the ring, Sky hits multiple backbreakers. Guevara gets to the finish roll for the near fall and lays in chops before hitting double springboard cutter for a near fall. Sky then goes to TKO, but Guevara hits a thrust kick and hits the go to the hospital, but Sky rolls underneath and the ropes. Guevara then goes to shooting star press. Sky gets the knees up. Van Zant attacks Conti from behind, and she argues with Paige. Guevara then distracted by the attack, allowing Sky to hit TKO to win the match and the championship. After the match, Sky attacks Guevara with the belt, and Van Zant plants Conti on top of her boyfriend. Van Zant signs her contract, and they close the show. I mean, ultimately, really newsworthy show and a really enjoyable pace. Not exactly everything I'd like, but it's still enjoyable nonetheless. We'll be back with more right after this.